Hello and welcome to ACCA P6 UK version. This is advanced taxation and this lecture is relevant to the UK version only. So if you've chosen any other version, say Malaysian version of this exam, then you will have to find ACCA lecture somewhere else, because this lecture is only relevant for ACCA P6 UK version. Now, as I said, this is advanced taxation. So you should expect the questions at advanced level as well. Some of you might have passed F6 exam, which is fundamentals level taxation, and some of you might be exempt from that paper. In both cases, this exam is totally different approach-wise. If we talk about F6 exam, if you have passed, it was just a basic level taxation. At that level, examiner was asking you to calculate taxation. It was not asking you to do commentary at an advanced level, but here at this level, examiner will be asking you to put some comments as well, give the planning advices as well, because you will be working at high level rather than in tax assistant, which examiner was expecting you at F6 level. Some of you might be exempt, as I said, from F6 level, and if you are exempt from F6 level, you don't know what F6 was. F6 is simply a basic level taxation of ACCA, and don't worry if you haven't studied F6, because even if you have studied F6, you might have forgotten because of the huge gap between F6 exam and P6 exam. You have to pass quite many exams to reach at P6 level after passing F6. So that's why you might have forgotten. I've seen students who have passed F6 4 years ago since they appeared for this exam. So you are not alone. So this exam, as I said, is an advanced level exam. Examiner expects you to be a fully expert at this level. After passing the exam, you will not only be ACCA qualified individual, you might be working in a big company, and a client might pop into your office and say, I have a big company and I want to save a tax in a legal way. Obviously, you can't help them in an illegal way to save the taxation, because that's illegal. So that's why examiner expects you to be a fully expert, give the planning advice as well, put some comments in a professional way. So that's why I want you to focus this exam and pass this exam in full attention and with good grades, so that when you go into the practice, then this exam definitely going to help you if you're going in the tax department of any company or a firm. So let's have a start then. In this introductory lesson, I will tell you the topics which we will study in the future lectures. So this is just an introduction, an overview of the exam. So I will tell you the topics which are part of ACCA P6 exam. So as I said, this is P6 Advanced Taxation. This is advanced taxation. Right. So first topic that we will study in this exam is called income tax. So this is just a topic name. It is not a chapter name. I will just write down the few major topics. So there are in some cases there are many. Say for example, in this case, income tax has got about 10 chapters in it. So don't think that these are just chapter names. These are topic names, and each topic has got few chapters in it, right? So first topic name is income tax. When we calculate the taxation, we calculate the tax in two ways, from two perspectives basically. One is the personal perspective. Say for example, we calculate the taxation of individuals. In other case, we calculate taxation from company overview, company perspective, and in that case, we prepare the taxation for companies. If we talk about income tax, this is a personal tax. So we will be thinking and we will be taking individual scenarios. So individual who has got business, they might have to pay tax on it because he's making some profit. If individual is working for someone, say I am working for AccountancyTube, I'm getting paid. If I get the salary at end of the month, then I will have to pay tax on it. So that tax is also part of income tax. Say for example, I have a house and I let it out to someone else, and I get paid in shape of rent. So I will be taxed on that income as well. That is rental income, and that is part of income tax. So there could be many sources of income which will be taxed under income tax. Okay, so shall we move to the next topic, which is called CGT, and it is capital gains tax. It is also from personal perspective, so we'll take this from both perspective, but I'm just telling you now it is from personal perspective. We'll see this CGT from company's perspective as well, but for now you just assume that this is personal perspective. In capital gains tax, now what capital gains tax is, if you have studied F6 and you have passed, and if you can remind yourself, CGT was a tax which you pay when you sell an asset, right? So when you sell an asset and you make some gain on it, say for example, if I have a house and I sell the house for 300,000, which I purchased for 200,000, I made a gain of 100,000, didn't I? So I'll have to pay tax on that. Say if I have a car and I sell the car and I make some gain on it, I might have to pay tax. I might be exempt. So in this case and in this case, we could be exempt as well. So we'll see later when we take each topic in turn, and we will see whether we are exempt, what sort of exemption we get, what sort of reliefs we are available in that specific taxation. We'll see in detail when we move to each topic. But for now, capital gains tax is simply a tax which you pay on the proceeds, not on the proceeds, on the gains which you make when you sell an asset and you make some gain. So you will have to pay tax on that. So CGT is simple as that. Next topic is inheritance tax. Inheritance tax, I think you can understand from the name, it is inheritance. So when someone dies and them assets are transferred to their kids, so that property is called inheritance. So government is not that kind to give it for free, so government wants something in return. So that bit which the government wants in return is called tax. And in this specific case, it is called inheritance tax. So the tax which you pay on the property which you inherit on the death of your parents or grandparents, that tax is called inheritance tax. We'll see in details if any exemptions are available, or there could be many things actually. So we'll see in details later. Next topic is corporation tax. You can see the name corporation. You know what corporation is. Corporation is simply the company. So when you are self-employed, say for example you are self-employed and you have a business and you were doing quite well, and then you thought I should incorporate the business. Now I think at this level you know what incorporation means. Incorporation simply means making it as a company, registering it as a company. So when you make it as a company, then when the company makes profit, then you will have to pay tax on that. That tax is called corporation tax. Right? We'll see in detail when we move to this topic. Last major topic is value-added tax, or VAT. Most of the countries in the world charge some sort of tax from these, and VAT is also another part of taxation. In the UK, VAT is paid when you buy something. Say for example, if you go to petrol pump and you put some fuel in your car, you will have to pay some tax on it. So that tax is called value-added tax, right? That is simple as that. You might have to pay tax when you buy some books. You might have to pay VAT when you buy some food, right? You might be exempt, but you might have to pay. So that tax is called VAT. We'll see in details again when we move to that specific part of taxation, or P6, right? So as I said, these are 5 topics, and these are major topics. These are not only topics, these are just major topics. There could be some other small topics, say for example stamp duty, land tax, It is a small topic which is part of P6 syllabus, and we'll see that in details as well. But I haven't included this in the list because these are just the major topics, and these topics themselves conclude. I think these topics consist on about 25 chapters. So there are only 5 chapters left, in which you can see there will be planning, tax planning, and there could also be some stamp duty, land tax, and there could be some other taxes as well. But we will see in detail. But for now, these are 5 major topics. Right? Now, if we talk about the exam itself, P6 exam. As I said, that P6 exam is a advanced level exam, and not only advanced level, but it is also an optional exam. So examiner does not say that you have to choose this exam, like P2, for example. This exam is optional, so you are choosing this exam. It means you have interest in this exam, and you are going to be an expert in taxation, right? So that's why examiner expects you to write the answers in that professional way. So for example, after passing this exam, you might be sitting in the office of a big company, as I explained earlier as well. So that's why this exam is a professional exam. So examiner expects you to answer in a professional way. Say for example, if you've passed F6, and you might be thinking that, all these topics we have studied already and we have seen it. So what is new here? Excuse me. Definitely, these topics were part of F6 exam, but this is not only this is not just the P6 exam, because although these were part of F6 exam, but there could be some different topics which were not included in F6 exam, but they are part of P6 exam. So these are just the major topics. So there could be additional chapters in it which you haven't seen before, right? And another important thing is that you were right. These were all the things which you have seen at F6. Most of the syllabus at P6 level, about 70% of P6 syllabus were examined at F6 level as well. So you have whatever you will study, most of these stuff you have already studied at F6 level. So it does not mean that you don't have to do much hard work at F6 level. At P6 level, you definitely have to, unfortunately, because this exam is a professional exam, as I explained earlier. Because the way you used to solve the fundamentals exam, say for example F6 exam, you used to calculate income tax, CGT, and blah blah blah. But here you will not only have to calculate income tax, but you will have to interpret as well. So you will have to put some commentary underneath, and you will have to explain in the comments. So for example, whatever you are doing the calculation, you will have to put some comments underneath, and you will have to give the professional conclusion as well. So that is how P6 is different from F6, right? So that's why I am saying again and again that this exam, although most of the syllabus is as it was in F6 level, but technique-wise, this exam is absolutely different than F6. Most of the students, as per the examiner, fail this exam because they solve this paper as per the techniques they use to solve the F6 exam. So that's why I will force you to change your techniques to solve this exam. I will tell you the techniques. You don't have to worry about it much, because I will tell you each and every bit of techniques which needs to pass this exam, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, in addition to this, before I go further, we were talking about the exam. So if I talk about the exam, there are 2 sections in the exam. First one is a compulsory section. As I said, there are 2 sections, and the first section is a compulsory section. There are 2 questions in this one. First one is 35 marks, and the second one is 25 marks. And this section you must have to attempt whatever happens, because this is a compulsory section. However, examiner have given you a choice in second section, which is optional section, and you have to choose 2 of 3 questions, and these are all 20 marks each. So there are 2 sections. First one is compulsory and the second one is optional. So in the second section you have to choose 2 questions out of 3 questions. So at this level, what do you think, that is giving option a good thing or a bad thing? In a way it could be a good thing, because it gives you an option. If you are not prepared well at a specific topic, you can choose a different question. But on the other hand, if you see, it wastes your time, isn't it? Because when you have seen, when you are solving the paper, there are 5 questions altogether in the exam. But you don't have much time to read all 5 questions, do you? Because exam itself is just 3 hours long and 15 minutes of course. So in that limited time, you don't have much time to read all the questions. So what you can do is, you can just see the requirements of each optional questions and see, which topics you think you are much competent at, then you can have a go at it, right? So that is the exam itself. Apart from it, we will continue to the topics which we have seen here. First of all, we will take income tax in the next lecture, and we'll see in details. Apart from this lecture, now because my lecture is just concluded, apart from this lecture you can also download free lecture notes, which are also available on our website AccountancyTube.com. Lectures are free, of course, and lecture notes are also free. You might be thinking that it is a good idea to just read the notes, because notes are quite short as compared to the books which are available in the market. But it's not a good idea, because you will have to watch the lectures as well and the notes. Then you will be much confident and competent at the notes and the syllabus altogether. So first thing is that you will have to download the notes, and you will have to watch these lectures as well. And the last thing is, unfortunately you will have to buy exam kit or practice and revision kit from the market. Sorry, or you can buy it online, but we do not provide it for free. So although the lectures are free and the notes are free, but you will have to buy a practice and revision kit, and practice and revision kits are available in the market from $10 or $20, I don't know. But there are quite many in the market, say Kaplan, BPP, Get Through Guides, so there are quite many. But you must buy from an approved learning provider, because they've got good stuff in it. If we talk about the past papers, now, as you have practiced, as you have passed quite many exams, if you're taking this exam, you definitely have passed quite many exams of ACCA. If we talk about the past papers, what you used to do at earlier exams, you used to practice the textbook or notes and the lectures. After that, you used to go to the ACCA website and download the past papers, and you can solve them straight away. But it's not as simple as that for this exam, because this is taxation. Now this lecture which I am now giving is relevant for March 2017 exam, and because this is taxation, it keeps changing. Government keeps changing every year. So these lectures won't be helpful for June 2017 exam. Likewise, if you see the past exam papers, they are not up to date on the ACCA website. They are as it was at that specific time. So for example, if you go to ACCA website and download a past paper of P6, say of June 2008, then that paper will not be updated version of the exam. That was as it was. So for that, examiner, I won't recommend you to see at the past papers on ACCA website. Now, approved learning provider have provided you the exam kits. Now, exam kits include the past papers, but in an updated version. They have changed the dates, they have changed the reliefs and allowances and everything to make them useful for this exam sitting. That's why we buy the exam and revision kit. So that's why I'm I will ask you to buy the exam practice and revision kit, and please don't look at the past papers of this exam. You can see the other exams on ACC website. You can see the past papers, but please don't look at P6 past papers or F6 past papers, because this is taxation exam, and it will make you confused. So you should not look at the past papers on ACCA's website. So that is end of the lecture. It was our first introduction lecture, and I wish you good luck for your exam, and see you in the next lecture.